Every morning at 7:15, Emma wiped down the counter of Sunny Cafe, just like she always did. The smell of fresh coffee filled the air, and the same faces came in, businessmen, in suits, tired moms, and sleepy college kids clutching their laptops. But then there was her, an old woman who sat by the window, wearing the same faded pink coat and straw hat, clutching a little coin purse as if it held her life savings. She came every morning, ordered the cheapest coffee on the menu, and sat there for hours staring out the window. Most customers ignored her. Some whispered about her smell, or the way she always wore gloves, even in summer. But not Emma. She smiled at her every single day. She brought her a muffin, even when the woman couldn't pay for it. Emma didn't know that her small act of kindness would one day change her entire life, or that the mysterious old woman had a secret that would shock everyone in town. Hey everyone, welcome back to Whispers of Goodness, the channel where we share true and inspiring stories that warm your heart and remind you of the power of kindness. If you believe in doing good, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and comment "Kindness wins" down below. Your support helps us spread more stories just like this one. Alright, now let's dive into Emma's story. Emma had worked at Sunny Cafe for 3 years. It wasn't glamorous. She made minimum wage, worked long hours, and her feet ached by the end of every shift. But she loved the people. She loved the smell of coffee and the sound of laughter in the mornings. The old woman first appeared on a cold November morning. She came in just as Emma was refilling the sugar jars. The woman's hands trembled as she counted coins on the counter. "Just one small coffee, please," she whispered. Emma noticed her gloves were torn, her scarf frayed, and her shoes looked 2 sizes too big. Without a word, Emma poured her a large coffee instead. She smiled and said, "On the house, it's chilly out there today." The woman looked at her, surprised. Her eyes filled with tears she quickly wiped away. "You're too kind, dear," she murmured, taking the cup with both hands like it was made of gold. From that day forward, the woman came every morning, always at 7:15. Always the same seat, always that old pink coat. Emma started saving a muffin or a small piece of pie for her, pretending it was a kitchen mistake, so she wouldn't get in trouble with the manager. Sometimes they talked. The old woman's name was Mrs. Harriet Bloom. She told Emma she used to be a teacher, that she never married, and that she didn't have any family left. She said she liked watching people. It reminded her of all her students rushing through life. Emma listened, genuinely interested. She never judged, never hurried her. In a world where everyone seemed too busy to care, she made time. Weeks turned into months. Emma started bringing her small gifts, a scarf she knitted, a new pair of gloves. Mrs. Bloom tried to refuse, but Emma always smiled and said, "You do the same for me." And that was that. One morning Mrs. Bloom did show up. Emma looked at the window seat, empty. The next day, still empty. By the 3rd day, Emma felt a pit in her stomach. She asked around, but no one knew anything. For a week, Emma kept checking the window, hoping to see that pink coat again. But nothing. Then, one Saturday morning, the bell over the door chimed, and Emma froze. It was Mrs. Bloom, but this time she wasn't alone. Behind her walked 4 men in black suits, bodyguards. They moved like a wall of shadow, escorting her carefully to the same window seat. And then 2 women followed, both dressed in sleek suits, holding leather folders. Lawyers. The cafe went silent. Emma rushed over. "Miss Bloom, I was so worried about you. Are you okay?" Mrs. Bloom smiled softly. "I am just fine, dear, and it's time I told you something." Emma looked confused as Mrs. Bloom gestured for her to sit. One of the lawyers placed a thick envelope on the table. "Miss Emma," the lawyer began, "Mrs. Bloom has asked us to deliver some important documents to you." Emma blinked. "To me?" Mrs. Bloom nodded. "You see, my dear, I haven't been completely honest. I'm not poor. Not anymore." She chuckled weakly. "I was, once. But years ago, I inherited a small fortune, my late brother's estate. I've lived simply ever since. I wanted to see how people would treat me when they thought I had nothing." Emma's jaw dropped. The entire cafe was staring. "I've met many people in my life," Mrs. Bloom continued, her voice trembling, "but you never treated me like I was less. You gave me kindness without expecting anything back. You reminded me that there's still goodness in this world. So, I've decided to do something in return." The lawyer slid the envelope across the table. Inside was a check. Emma gasped when she saw the number, $250,000. Her hands shook. "No, I can't take this." "I just did what anyone would do." Mrs. Bloom smiled knowingly. "That's where you're wrong, dear. Not everyone would. This money isn't a payment, it's a gift. For your future. For the goodness you showed me when no one else cared." Tears filled Emma's eyes. The entire cafe clapped softly. Even her manager, who had once scolded her for giving out free muffins, wiped away a tear. Emma used part of that money to go back to school. She studied nursing, something she'd always dreamed of but could never afford. She also bought new chairs and coffee machines for Sunny Café, giving back to the place where her kindness journey began. As for Mrs. Bloom, she kept visiting the cafe, but now she came in style. Her bodyguards waited outside, and she ordered her coffee with a smile. Emma still refused to charge her. They became family, not by blood but by kindness. Years later, when Mrs. Bloom passed away peacefully in her sleep, Emma received one final letter. Inside was a note that read, "My dearest Emma, you gave me warmth when the world was cold. You saw me when everyone else looked away. Keep spreading kindness. It's the only wealth that never runs out. With love, Harriet Bloom." Along with the note was one more surprise. Mrs. Bloom had left her entire estate to Emma. Today, Emma runs a small foundation called the Bloom Project, named after the woman who changed her life. The foundation provides free meals, clothes, and job training to elderly people living alone. Every morning, she still visits Sunny Café, sits by the same window, and leaves a muffin and coffee on the table, just in case someone else needs a warm start to their day. Emma often says, kindness doesn't need to be grand, it just needs to be real. And that's the truth. Kindness is the one gift that costs nothing but can mean everything. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe and join our community here on Whispers of Goodness. Remember, every small act of kindness creates ripples you may never see. But somewhere, somehow, it changes a life, because sometimes the simplest cup of coffee can brew a miracle.